Did you know that some of the most famous couples in Hollywood have secrets behind their smiles? From Ellen and Portia's picture-perfect life to Kristen Stewart's quiet love story, not everything is as it seems. These are 30 gay celebrities couples in Hollywood. 1. Ellen DeGeneres and Portia de Rossi. Ellen DeGeneres, with that omnipresent TV smile everyone knew. Portia de Rossi, the actress whose presence was never unnoticed. Together, they seemed the embodiment of Hollywood fantasy. Always hand in hand, shared laughter, dream mansions, adorable pets. A flawless image, right? But fame, that fickle lover, places them under an unforgiving spotlight. Soon, whispers began to weave their tale. Was that perfection as real as it seemed? Were those smiles hiding something deeper? They married in 2008, just as California law allowed. A day of dreams that captured headlines, sealing a union that appeared unbreakable. But fame, like a serpent, bites back. Rumors flew relentlessly. Things, they said, were not so serene behind the scenes. Ellen faced professional turbulence, accusations of a less-than-kind nature. Did that darkness seep into the sanctuary of their home? Portia stood firm by her side, proclaiming the solidity of their love. They presented a united front against the tide of gossip. Shining on the outside, yes, but shadows, it was rumored, lingered. Despite everything, they remained together. Perhaps their bond was, after all, more resilient than the venom of the rumor mill. Thus, even couples who seem plucked from a fairy tale face their own hidden storms. But what of those who build an entire family under those bright lights? Let us now turn our gaze to Neil Patrick Harris and David Burtka. 2. Neil Patrick Harris and David Burtka. Neil Patrick Harris, the funny TV face everyone adored. David Burtka, the handsome actor and chef. The spark, they say, ignited as soon as they met, but they kept their love in the shadows for years. Hollywood back then wasn't always a warm embrace for such unions. Little by little, they took the step, emerging from discretion, hand in hand, radiant smiles for the cameras. A bold act, a declaration to the world of their connection. And then, the babies. Twins arrived, a boy and girl, bringing fatherhood with them. Suddenly, they were dads. Their lives are filled with adorable Halloween costumes and perfect holiday photos shared endlessly online. The public devoured that image. Their Italian wedding in 2014? A star-studded fairy tale. But how do you juggle a stratospheric career with raising small children? That is the real battle. Were there hidden cracks behind those impeccable photos? They always preached teamwork, always boosted each other's dreams. They made it look effortless, yes. But building that life, under everyone's constant gaze, demands a titanic and often invisible effort. They showed the world that two fathers could forge a happy family life in unforgiving Hollywood. Their smiles seemed authentic, a contrast to the sadness that enveloped the ending of the next couple. 3. Ricky Martin and Juan Joseph. Ricky Martin, the music superstar whose rhythm moved the world. Juan Joseph, the talented artist whose vision complemented his own. A match made in artistic heaven, good looks, creativity, a shared passion for art. They built a family, adding more life to Ricky's already vibrant world. Dazzling photos flooded the internet, idyllic vacations, beaming smiles, family bliss at its finest. It seemed, truly, they had it all. A quiet wedding in 2017, talk of deep bonds, shared dreams for the future. Fans swooned over the image of this modern family. Ricky overflowed with happiness in every interview. Juan seemed the serene anchor in the singer's whirlwind life. But even the most perfect surfaces can hide turbulent waters. The weight of fame, endless travel, raising children, it is a monumental burden. And the world watched their every single move, every public gesture. Then, 2023, the bombshell exploded. They were splitting. The dream dissolved before everyone's eyes. They spoke of respect, of prioritizing the children's well-being in their official statement. But fans who saw them as an ideal felt the sting of disappointment. It proved that even the ties that seemed strongest can fray. What really happened when the doors closed and the cameras turned off? We only saw the shine, not the tension, the wear. A bitter reminder that Hollywood happy endings are not guaranteed, not even for the most beloved. Their separation shocked many, proving that smiles can hide silent struggles. But some couples face the glare for decades, building legacies that endure, like music royalty Elton John and his partner. 4. Elton John and David Furnish. Elton John, the music giant, the spectacle. David Furnish, the filmmaker, the steady hand. They met in 1993. For Elton, known for Wild Times, David seemed a calm harbor. Their bond deepened over years, facing a world not always ready for them. They bravely entered a civil partnership in the UK in 2005, one of the first big couples to do so. Family was their next dream. 2 sons arrived, bringing immense joy. Elton said fatherhood changed him, softened him. David was his partner in building that loving home. Marriage followed in 2014, a huge party, celebrating decades of love. But being Elton means zero privacy, cameras everywhere, endless stories. Did that constant pressure strain their family life? They always looked like a solid team. David helped manage Elton's empire and charity work, fame, family projects. They juggled it all. Their love story shouts that commitment can survive the brightest, harshest spotlights. Nearly 30 years together is proof of something real. Such lasting love under pressure is rare. Others find strength in quiet privacy, like the next couple. 5. Jim Parsons and Todd Spiewak. Jim Parsons, the face of TV's brainy Sheldon Cooper. Todd Spiewak, the creative artist working quietly nearby. They were a pair for years before anyone really knew. Total privacy. No flashing cameras, no big reveals. Just 2 people building a life together, far from the Hollywood noise. Jim stayed silent about his personal life for a long time. Then a quiet shift. Jim mentioned Todd. In 2012, he confirmed it simply. No fuss. They'd already been together a decade. Marriage came even later, in 2017, after 14 years. Their wedding wasn't a typical Hollywood circus. It felt genuine, 2 people sealing a long-held promise. They still live a remarkably normal life for stars. Did that privacy shield them, keep them strong? It seems likely. They never chased the spotlight as a couple, just work and life together. Jim left his famous show. Todd was there. Their story whispers that Hollywood love doesn't need to scream to be true. It can be steady, quiet, real. Their quiet path differs sharply from the next couple, also private, but undeniably Hollywood. Matt Bomer and Simon Halls. Matt Bomer, the actor with movie star looks. Simon Halls, the powerful Hollywood insider, a top publicist. They fell in love but kept it fiercely private. Simon knew the game. Maybe they wanted to shield their life from the Hollywood machine, keep their love off the gossip pages. They built a family first, raising 3 sons. That seemed their priority. Matt stayed quiet about his private world for years. Then, in 2012, accepting an award, he thanked Simon and their kids. A soft confirmation. Later, the bigger news dropped. They'd secretly married back in 2011. A tiny, private ceremony. Their promise was kept hidden for years. Even today, they guard their family life. They appear at events, looking happy, linked arm in arm, but share few details. Does this wall of privacy help them survive Hollywood? It seems to. They project calm, stable happiness, a team raising boys while navigating high-stakes careers. Love can bloom away from the glare, it seems. Privacy works for some. But what about couples who face whispers about things like age difference? 7. Sarah Paulson and Holland Taylor. Sarah Paulson, the intense, acclaimed actress. Holland Taylor, another acting legend, respected for decades. The catch? A 30-plus year age gap. When their relationship surfaced, eyebrows raised. People talk about age differences, but Sarah and Holland, they didn't flinch. Their connection seemed undeniable. They stepped out together, holding hands, radiating happiness. They spoke openly, warmly about their love. Holland gushed about Sarah online. Sarah praised Holland's brilliance. No hiding, no apologies. They simply showed the world love ignores calendars. They handled the stairs with cool grace, challenging outdated ideas. Their open affection felt real. Genuine support flowed between them. Despite the age gap, despite the spotlight, their bond looked solid, built on respect. They weren't trying to make a statement, just living their love. But their openness did inspire. Their story? Finding joy, finding connection, no matter the numbers or the noise. Their bold openness is striking, much like the next couple whose love story started amidst personal change. 8. Samira Wiley and Lauren Morelli. Samira Wiley, famous from that hit prison show. Lauren Morelli, a writer on that same show. They met at work, but Lauren was married then to a man. Writing stories about different kinds of love sparked something in Lauren. A realization. She was gay, and she had feelings for Samira. Imagine the confusion, the turmoil. Lauren ended her marriage, a huge, life-altering step. Soon after, she and Samira began dating. Their love bloomed from that shared workplace, from Lauren's personal discovery. They fell hard. Their 2017 wedding was vibrant, joyful. Pure happiness shone from them. Later, a daughter arrived. Their beginning was complicated, yes, but they built a beautiful life. Sweet photos, loving messages online. They look like a solid team, championing each other's work, cherishing their family. A TV show's backdrop became the start of a real-life love story. Sometimes, love truly finds you in unexpected ways. Finding love at work can happen. For the next couple, that connection lasted almost a lifetime. 9. Lily Tomlin and Jane Wagner. Lily Tomlin, the comedy genius. Jane Wagner, the brilliant writer behind much of Lily's magic. They met way back in the early 1970s. Jane crafted Lily's iconic characters, shaping her legendary shows. But their bond went deeper than work. They fell in love when being an out gay couple in Hollywood was unthinkable. For decades, they were partners in everything, creating incredible work. But their romance? Kept intensely private. The industry knew, but they didn't talk. They just lived. Their love, the quiet engine beneath the laughter. Respect, creativity, deep affection. That was their foundation. Then, after more than 40 years side by side, they married in 2013. No big fanfare, just a quiet nod to a lifetime together. Their endurance is stunning. They navigated decades of Hollywood shifts, social changes, always true to each other. Their bond is a masterclass in quiet devotion, a partnership for the ages. Decades of quiet love, remarkable. Another long-term couple took a different path, from privacy to public joy. 10. George Takei and Brad Altman. George Takei, the starship hero, the unmistakable voice, the activist. Brad Altman, now Takei. His manager, his partner. They met at a running club in the 80s. Friendship sparked, then love bloomed. But for years, silence. George wasn't out publicly. It was a different era. They built their life together quietly, far from any spotlight. George came out in 2005, a pivotal moment. 3 years later, California allowed it, and George and Brad married. A joyous celebration after more than 20 years together. Since then, they're fully out and proud. Appearing together, sharing funny online posts, working side by side on George's career and causes. Brad is George's constant, steady presence. Their partnership radiates fun, humor, and deep support. They weathered years of hiding, then embraced the spotlight together. Their story shows love can last through decades of change, and finding public happiness later in life is beautifully possible. They're adored for their commitment and infectious joy. From hidden love to public celebration, a heartwarming path. Let's revisit a musical giant whose partnership seems just as vital. 11. Jesse Tyler Ferguson and Justin Mikita. Jesse Tyler Ferguson, the star of that huge family sitcom. Justin Makita, the lawyer and producer. Met at the gym. How normal. They quickly became a visible pair, stylish, happy, attending everything. Open about their love, they pushed hard for marriage equality. Married in 2010, a big New York bash officiated by a famous writer. Pure joy. Later, 2 kids arrived via surrogacy. Like NPH and David, they share funny, sweet glimpses of dad life online. They clearly love it. They even mix business and advocacy, like their Tie the Knot company selling bow ties for marriage equality causes. Personal life, activism, business, all woven together. They navigate Hollywood as a team, supporting careers, raising kids, staying aware. A truly modern couple, balancing it all with humor and style. That blend of public life and making a difference is also central to the next couple's story. 12. Cynthia Nixon and Christine Marinoni. Cynthia Nixon, famous from that NYC show, later a political candidate. Christine Marinoni, an education activist. They met fighting for schools back in 2001. Shared values sparked their connection. For Cynthia, previously partnered with a man, this was a new path. Together years before getting engaged at a 2009 marriage equality rally. They waited until New York law changed, marrying in 2012. Christine gave birth to their son, Max, in 2011. They blended their family, raising Max alongside Cynthia's older kids. Their bond seems forged in shared beliefs. When Cynthia ran for office, Christine was her unwavering support. They faced the political spotlight together. Their life isn't about glamour, it's commitment, family, fighting for change. A powerful partnership built on conviction, not just romance. Activism and family also define the next couple, though one partner brings the laughs. 13. Wanda Sykes and Alex Sykes. Wanda Sykes, the fearless, hilarious comedian. Alex Sykes, French, met Wanda on a ferry in 2006, having no idea who she was. Wanda saw Alex, felt an instant pull. They kept things very quiet. Wanda wasn't publicly out yet. Then came 2008, and California's Prop 8 vote against gay marriage. Wanda exploded. At a Las Vegas rally, she came out swinging, announcing she was gay, and had married Alex just a month before in a private ceremony. A fiery, brave stand against injustice. Suddenly, their private life was very public. A year later, twins arrived. Wanda mines motherhood for comedy gold, but fiercely guards her family's privacy. Alex stays mostly unseen. Their story? Finding love unexpectedly, taking a bold stand when it mattered, and building a family away from the noise, even with a superstar mom. From quiet love to public defiance, inspiring. The next couple also found love amidst personal discovery. 14. Tig Notaro and Stephanie Allyn. Tig Notaro, the deadpan comic, brutally honest. Stephanie Allyn, the actress and writer. They met on a movie set, 2013. Tig felt a connection, but Stephanie identified as straight then. As their bond grew, Stephanie realized her feelings for Tig were undeniable, leading her to explore her own identity. A true discovery. Things got serious fast. Married in 2015. Tig had faced terrifying health battles just before meeting Stephanie. That support likely forged an iron bond. They wanted kids, welcoming twin boys via surrogacy in 2016. Family life became both joy and comedy material for Tig. They often create together, writing and acting side by side. Their partnership feels deep, shared humor, mutual understanding, weathering life's storms. They're open yet normal. Their story is about finding love, building a family, even when the path takes unexpected turns. Their creative bond is strong. The next couple's connection played out much more intensely in the public eye. 15. Cara Delevingne and Ashley Benson. Cara Delevingne, the edgy model actress. Ashley Benson, star of that hit teen show. met filming together, 2018. Sparks flew, rumors ignited. Soon, they were everywhere, looking close, kissing. Paparazzi hunted them. Their relationship was instant tabloid fuel. They didn't exactly hide, but didn't shout it from rooftops either. Just young, famous, and seemingly in love. Traveling, partying, living under a microscope. The constant watching must have been brutal. Every photo, every glance is analyzed. Did the pressure crack them? After roughly 2 years, news broke. They split in 2020. Reasons kept private. But the end of their high-wattage romance made headlines. Their story screams how hard it is to keep love alive under intense media fire, especially for young stars. A whirlwind romance, watched by the world, showing how fast Hollywood flames can burn out. That intense public flame contrasts with the guarded approach of our final couple. 16. Kristen Stewart and Dylan Meyer. Kristen Stewart, launched into global fame young by that movie series. Years of intense media hounding followed. Dylan Meyer, a screenwriter. They'd met briefly years before, but reconnected later. Kristen fell hard, fast. But this time felt different, she said. More private. Kristen wanted to protect this one. After living in a fishbowl, she craved control. They were seen, yes, but didn't play the press game. Then, 2021, Kristen announced their engagement. Pure happiness radiated from her. Dylan's proposal? Perfect, sweet, just for them. They share a creative spark, Dylan being a writer. They keep a lower profile now than Kristen did before. Attending events, yes, but living their lives mostly off-camera. Her story feels like finding a safe harbor after surviving fame's hurricane. Building a future focused on their bond, their creativity, not the relentless public gaze. Finding peace away from the glare seems like the goal. But what about those who mastered privacy long before? Let's look at Jodie Foster, 17. Jodie Foster and Alexandra Hedison. Jodie Foster, a Hollywood puzzle since childhood. Always building walls, keeping cameras far from her real world. Then, photographer Alexandra Hedison entered the picture. A quiet wedding in 2014, barely a headline. Hedison, once linked to Ellen DeGeneres. Did that past cast a shadow? Or bring unwanted attention? Foster, the master controller of her own story, found a partner who also seemed to value silence. Or did she? Two intensely private people creating a fortress against the spotlight. They rarely appear together. They share almost nothing. Is it protection or isolation? What really happens behind those high walls they've built? The silence itself feels loud. Keeping things hidden seems paramount for some. But others, even after finding fame young, embrace the spotlight fully, like this former boy band star, 18, Lance Bass and Michael Turchin. Lance Bass, shot to fame with a huge boy band. Life lived in front of screaming crowds. Michael Turchin, an actor and visual artist. They started dating, and unlike Lance's early career, this relationship was out in the open. They seemed to enjoy the spotlight together. They married in 2014 and even filmed it for a TV special. Talk about embracing the public eye. Later, they welcomed twins via surrogacy, sharing their family journey openly online. Happy photos, cute kids, public appearances. They put their life out there. Is it genuine openness? Or just part of the celebrity game they know so well? Managing fame, marriage, and fatherhood, it looks shiny, but the pressure must be immense. Their public approach contrasts with the next couple, icons of style who built a life together largely in private until sadness struck. 19. Tom Ford and Richard Buckley. Tom Ford, the king of fashion, sharp suits, perfect style. Richard Buckley, the respected fashion journalist, sharp mind, quiet strength. They met in 1986. Instant connection. A love story spanning over 3 decades, long before Tom became a global brand. Their bond was legendary in fashion circles, but intensely private. They married quietly in 2014 after decades together. they had a son. Their life seemed a world of elegance, shielded from the messy parts of fame. They were rarely seen, rarely photographed together outside industry events. Their partnership felt deep, enduring, built far from the cameras. Then heartbreak. Richard passed away in 2021. Tom spoke of the huge hole left behind. Their long, quiet love story ended, leaving behind a legacy of devotion, a reminder that even the most private lives face public sorrow. Loss changes everything. For the next couple, finding love came after a brave, career-risking decision in a tough industry. 20. Chely Wright and Lauren Blitzer. Chely Wright, a country music singer. That world wasn't always welcoming to difference. For years, Chely hid who she really was, terrified of losing her career, her fans. The pressure must have been crushing. Then, in 2010, she bravely came out. A huge risk in country music. Soon after, she met Lauren Blitzer, an activist working for equal rights. Their connection was strong. They married in 2011. 2 years later, they welcomed twin boys. Chely didn't just find love, she found it after choosing honesty, despite the potential cost. Did coming out make their bond stronger? Did facing potential backlash together unite them? Their family life seems built on courage and authenticity, a powerful statement in an industry slow to change. Finding love after taking a stand is powerful. The final couple also blends public careers with a seemingly strong private bond. 21. Jillian Michaels and Deshauna Marie Minuto. Jillian Michaels, the tough-talking TV fitness guru known for pushing people hard. Deshauna Marie Minuto, a fashion designer. They got together, and Jillian, often outspoken, seemed incredibly happy. They shared romantic photos, looking very much in love. They got engaged in 2021 and married quietly in Namibia in 2022, followed by a bigger celebration in Italy. Jillian has kids from a previous relationship. Deshauna embraced the role of stepmom. They seem to blend their lives, supporting each other's careers, one in fitness, one in fashion. But Jillian's public image is intense. Does that intensity carry over into private life? Or is there a softer side the cameras don't see? They project happiness, but like all couples under the spotlight, you wonder what the full picture truly looks like. Wondering about the full picture is part of the Hollywood game. But what happens when the picture itself changes dramatically right before our eyes? Let's look at Elliot Page. 22. Elliot Page and Emma Portner. Elliot Page, the actor who bravely shared his truth with the world. Emma Portner, the talented dancer and choreographer. They met, then married quickly, quietly, in 2018. A young, artistic pair. Then, during their marriage, Elliot came out as transgender, a profound personal change while committed to someone else. Imagine the shifts, the adjustments needed. They showed public support for each other through this huge transition, but just months after Elliot's announcement, they revealed they had separated. They called it friendly, mutual, but navigating such a fundamental change within a partnership. That tests any foundation. What pressures built up behind their supportive public statements? What really led to the quiet end of their marriage? Personal change can reshape relationships. Sometimes the end isn't quiet, but loud and messy, played out for all to see, like with this rock star couple. 23. Melissa Etheridge and Tammy Lynn Michaels. Melissa Etheridge, the powerhouse rock singer. Tammy Lynn Michaels, the actress. They got together, had a big commitment ceremony, and welcomed twins. It looked like domestic bliss, rock star style. Melissa battled health issues publicly, with Tammy seemingly by her side. A picture of strength, people thought. Then the split in 2010. And it got ugly. Fast. Accusations flew back and forth in public documents and online posts. Arguments over money, kids, behavior, all laid bare. The happy family image shattered into angry pieces. What started as love turned into a bitter public fight. It showed how quickly things can sour and how messy breakups get when fame is involved. The contrast between the loving image and the nasty end was jarring. Public fights are rough, but what about splitting up, yet trying to build something new together, like co-parenting? Anderson Cooper's story is different. 24. Anderson Cooper and Benjamin Mazzani. Anderson Cooper, the famous news anchor, always calm on screen. Benjamin Mazzani, the nightclub owner, more private. They were together for years, a steady, low-key couple compared to many. They built a life largely away from the cameras, though Anderson's fame meant they couldn't hide completely. Then, in 2018, Anderson announced they had split sometime before. Quietly. No drama. But the story didn't end there. They decided to co-parent children together, welcoming 2 sons via surrogacy after they broke up. They even live in the same home to raise the boys. A very modern arrangement, but is it truly simple? Co-parenting with an ex, living together? What tensions exist beneath that friendly surface? It's an unusual setup, raising questions about their real relationship today. Building family in unique ways happens. Sometimes the challenge isn't splitting, but weathering terrible storms together, like the next couple. 25. Robin Roberts and Amber Laing. Robin Roberts, the beloved morning show anchor, known for her warmth and strength. Amber Laing, a massage therapist, living a quieter life. They met and built a relationship over many years, largely out of the public eye. Robin faced serious health battles, and Amber was her rock through it all. Their bond seemed deep, tested by hardship. They were together for 18 years before finally getting married in 2023. A long road to that celebration. Amber then faced her own difficult health fight, with Robin supporting her. Their story isn't about Hollywood glamour, it's about enduring love, facing life's toughest challenges side by side. Does facing such adversity make a bond unbreakable, or does it leave unseen scars? Their quiet strength is admirable, but the weight they've carried together must be immense. Enduring hardship shows strength, but sometimes even bright beginnings fizzle out fast under the Hollywood lights, like this final pair. 26. Ruby Rose and Phoebe Dahl. Ruby Rose, the model and actress who burst onto the scene, grabbing attention everywhere. Phoebe Dahl, a designer and granddaughter of a famous author. They got engaged quickly in 2014 after a whirlwind romance. Young, cool, creative, they seemed like a perfect edgy match. They were very public, sharing affectionate photos, talking about wedding plans. The spotlight shone brightly on them. They were hailed as a stylish power couple. But the engagement didn't last long. By the end of 2015, it was over. Just like that. What happened? The reasons stayed vague. The pressures of fame, distance, demanding careers. Fast. Fame and intense public focus can burn relationships out quickly. Their story was a flash in the pan, a bright spark, then gone, reminding us how fleeting things can be in the fast lane. 27. RuPaul Charles and George LeBar. RuPaul Charles, the drag superstar, the mogul, a global phenomenon built on charisma and nerve. George LeBar, the Wyoming rancher, quiet, preferring vast landscapes to flashing lights. An unlikely pairing? They met on a dance floor in 1994, long before RuPaul's empire reached its current height. An instant connection, they say, between the towering queen and the steady rancher. For decades, they kept their love almost entirely hidden. RuPaul conquered television, but George remained a whisper, a rumor. The ultimate public figure partnered with the ultimate private man. How did they bridge those worlds? Then, after 23 years together, the surprise. They'd married quietly in 2017. RuPaul mentioned it casually, almost an afterthought. Even now, George rarely appears, valuing his solitude on their massive ranch. Their bond seems a testament to finding balance, one partner embracing the world stage, the other guarding their shared peace. A love story lived largely off-camera, proving that even colossal fame doesn't have to consume everything. That level of privacy is rare. Others live their love boldly in the spotlight, only for it to end abruptly. 28. Billy Porter and Adam Smith. Billy Porter, the force of nature, the award-winning actor, the fashion icon who redefined red carpets. Adam Smith, the businessman, seemingly grounded, often smiling by Billy's side. They met, split, then reunited, marrying in 2017 just weeks after Porter proposed. They became the couple to watch. Dazzling appearances, bold fashion choices together, radiating confidence and style. They spoke of shared dreams, of building a life. Porter's star soared ever higher, his presence unmissable. Smith seemed the supportive partner navigating that whirlwind. They looked solid, a power couple blending art, activism, and love under the brightest lights. Then, in 2023, the sudden announcement. They were splitting after 6 years of marriage. The news shocked many who saw them as an inspiration. They cited no drama, just the sad reality of growing apart. But it served as another reminder, even the most vibrant, visible partnerships can face insurmountable private challenges, leaving fans wondering what went unseen behind the fabulous facade. Such sudden splits are jarring, but what about love found within the whirlwind of sudden fame? 29. Jonathan Van Ness and Mark Peacock. Jonathan Van Ness, the grooming guru, the beacon of positivity from that hit makeover show, exuberance personified. Mark Peacock, born in London, seemingly more reserved. Their romance bloomed rapidly, away from the public eye initially. Then JVN, in their typically open fashion, revealed at the end of 2020 that they had secretly married earlier that year. A whirlwind love story. Fans were thrilled, embracing Mark into JVN's sunny world. They shared glimpses of domestic life, trips, their shared love for animals. It seemed fast, yes, but joyful and genuine. JVN gushed about finding their person, but the speed that brought them together perhaps hinted at the speed of its ending. In late 2022, subtle signs appeared online, and soon after, JVN confirmed they had split. No messy details, just a quiet separation. Their story highlights the intensity of connections made in the fast lane of newfound fame, passionate and all-encompassing, but sometimes ultimately fleeting. While some flames burn out fast, others guard their privacy fiercely for decades, even against intense speculation. 30. Queen Latifah and Ebony Nichols. Queen Latifah, the hip-hop legend, the Oscar-nominated actress, the powerhouse producer, an icon for decades. Ebony Nichols, a talented choreographer. For years, Latifah's personal life was a subject of intense speculation, a closely guarded secret. She walked red carpets alone, expertly dodging questions, building an empire while keeping her private world locked down. Then, quietly, Ebony entered the picture. They reportedly met working together, their connection growing over time. But confirmation? Never explicit. They were seen together, yes, but always low-key. Then came whispers of them building a family, the arrival of a child. Still, no grand pronouncements, no shared magazine covers. Their relationship exists largely in the spaces between paparazzi shots and rare public sightings. Ebony seems to share Latifah's desire for privacy, creating a sanctuary away from the demands of superstardom. Their story is one of quiet commitment, proving that even in the glare of Hollywood, it's possible to build a life and family almost entirely on your own terms, letting the work speak for itself. That level of privacy is rare, especially when one partner embraces the spotlight with open arms, often sharing their life online.